and challenges of building a wellness ritual as a BOI, a person who is born obviously incredible. You are now listening to Boy Meets Wellness with poet, motivational speaker, and wellness lover, Evolve Benton.
BOI, born obviously incredible, especially when you wear it pretty.
Happy Friday, Boy Meets Wellness community, and happy November. It's starting to get chilly, and we just dropped some fresh new boy gear hoodies. I'm actually wearing one right now. They're hella soft and comfy. I'm sure a boy in your life would love to get one of these for the holiday season. So head over to boygearstore.com. That's BOIGER store.com and use the code LOVE, LOVE, for 25% off all orders over $75. We'll be sure to link that into the show notes. I'm hella excited about today's interview with Jeaux Henry. Jeaux is a creator of virtual content, musical mixes, safe spaces, and intentional experiences. Jeaux is also the creator of Black Boy Complex. Before we jump into the interview with Jeaux, I'd like to share some money tips with you for this week. These are from our 10 tips for saving during the holiday season. Firstly, stick to your budget and don't overextend to pretend, right? If you say you're going to spend $300 this holiday season and you've seen the new PlayStation 5 drop, realize you ain't got enough, stick to the plan, stick to your budget. Capitalism will have you believing that things will not exist. They will exist in the future and you can get them again, right? So don't overextend to pretend. Sign up for Groupon Select and get up to 25% on Groupon purchases. This is a really cool one that you can use. Pay with cash if you have a poor history with credit cards. So if you know that you normally overextend during this time of the year, maybe paying with cash will put you in a better place. Sign up for Honey. I literally love Honey. Honey has saved me hundreds of dollars to date. You never have to look for a coupon code again. With one click, Honey Smart Shopping, the assistant will apply every discount code to your shopping cart in seconds, right? So they see which one actually works for you in this season. And I mean, I've gotten up to 10 to 50% off using Honey. It's literally something that you can put on your internet browser. Sign up for Rakuten today. If you sign up today, you get $10 for just signing up, and it's free, so it's pretty cool. You can shop smart with them. You earn cash back on at least 2,500 stores. The cash back is sent directly to you by check or PayPal quarterly. I actually just got a drop from Rakuten today for $50. So if you shopping, it's no reason that you shouldn't be using this. It's free and it automatically gets you cash back and saves you money. You can find the link to all 10 of these tips in our show notes and download it today for free. Today's episode is brought to you by Mar Media Productions. Mar Media is a media production company that produces, publishes, and uplifts the stories, arts, and journeys of queer and trans people of color and the people who make our lives incredible. Now for our interview with Jeaux. Hello, world. Welcome to Boy Meets Wellness. Hella pumped this morning about this conversation today with Jeaux Henry. What's up, fam? Can you just introduce yourself with your pronouns and what brings you joy in this present moment?
Word, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Jeaux, also known as Complex Black Boy, on various social media platforms, the founder of Black Boy Complex, which is also a social media platform. And right now, what is giving me joy is the sun literally just came out. And that's amazing for me right now because I thought it was going to be a really gloomy day. It's been really gloomy over here on the East Coast, so...
I know the weather is starting to shift over there, man. I'm sure that the all the leaves is changing and you pulling out some of your fall winter wear. So what's your favorite thing about this time of year?
I think right now I like the fact that it is not hot, but it's also not like super cold. I like sleeping with my window open, and sometimes in the summertime it just do not be cutting it. And so I like a nice breeze. But I also really enjoy watching the leaves change. I have a maple tree right outside of my house, and I love watching every day, like different leaves change. I kind of like document it. Sometimes I pick the leaves up. I have some leaves around here somewhere, and I just like kind of let them dry. I love just watching nature do its thing. It's preparing to just go into this slumber, and I think that's really dope.
Nice. So did you grow up on the East Coast? Can you tell us a little bit about like where you did grow up, if not there, and where are you located now?
For sure, yeah. So yeah, I grew up on the East Coast, born in Jersey, and then when I was around 8, I moved to Atlanta, Decatur to be specific. And then I stayed in Decatur until I was about 18. I moved back to Jersey, literally same house, to be with my grandfather as he was aging, and just also to try something new. I felt like Atlanta didn't really have much for me. Then I've been here ever since. I'm 30 now, so it's literally been like 10-10. And actually, I spend more time in Jersey than in Atlanta, but I feel a kindred to both places because this has my legacy, my history, my family history, but also I came of age in Atlanta. So, but right now, I'm dirty Jersey, living it up.
That's a good mixture, especially as far as music. So we'll definitely talk about that later. I mean, you got some of the best beats probably in your head just from growing up in those areas. So who are the people in your life that make it incredible? I know you just mentioned your grandfather. Like if you had 3 people on your gratitude list, who would those folks be?
Oh, for sure, my great grandfather is like number one. Super grateful to have him in my life or have had him. I mean, he's still in my life just by way of spirit and soul, but he was just a big instrumental part of just who I am as a person, and really kind of let me be who I was just on every, like, never asked me to be anything other than what I was. And so that was really, really big for me. And like no matter how old I was. So he's super up there. I would say that I'm also grateful. I think, ooh, I think, you know what? It's hard to say because me and my mother have such a interesting relationship, but I'm also grateful for her. She taught me so much. Um, I mean, from negative experiences that we've had together to the positive experiences that we're having now, I've learned so much about myself through my experiences with her. And I feel like she kind of really encouraged me to be a better person, and not because, mainly just because of quite literally the pain that I had experienced, like when I was experiencing her as a mother. So I really enjoy now where I'm at with her. And so I'm really grateful to have her in my life because I'd be a completely different person if I didn't have trauma. A completely different person. The trauma made me. So that's 2. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say, I mean, I know that I can't, I mean, well, I could do anything. So I want to go ahead and group my friends. I'm so grateful to have my friends in my life. I have a lot of best friends. And I mean it when I say best friends. So I'm really, really grateful to have my best friends. I think, I want a really big shout out to Van Bailey, Dr. Van Bailey. He's my best friend, and I'm really grateful to have him in my life too. He's a part of this community, so I know he might be hearing this. So shout out to you, Van. I love you, man.
One of my favorite people in the whole wide world is Van Bailey. I think anytime someone mentions him on the show, I get all googly eye. Van, we love you so much. Thank you just for being so stellar, always willing to answer questions, and I mean, just so like a teddy bear. Like that's the best way I can describe man. Like as soon as I see my boy, I'm like, yo, I need a hug now.
Period. Right now, give me them arms. Period.
So let's talk a little bit about money, right? On the show we talk money, mindset, and kind of like motivation. What is your current relationship with money, and like has it always been that way? Did you learn about financial literacy through your family? Is this something you're learning now?
Shout out to Kenny Davis. Shout out to the trans capitalist because he actually really put me on to getting myself together as far as money. Because I thought I was doing money. So my relationship with money, because my mother, her relationship, because that's how you learn money with your family, with your parents. That's usually the first place. So my mother's relationship with money was really fleeting. Didn't really see, I can't particularly say it was a healthy one. I don't know where it is now. Seems like it might be getting a little better. So I always was kind of an independent person. And I've always been the type of person, I have to have my own money. I need to make my own money because I didn't particularly like not having. And that was where a lot of my relationship with money came from, just not having any. So whenever I had it, it was hard for me to let it go. Whenever I lost it or spent it, even on things that I particularly needed to spend my money on, it felt like it was a really traumatic experience for me. So I couldn't really enjoy life the way that I wanted to enjoy life because I was always worried about money. Now, as I've gotten older, my relation and as I'm starting to make more money, I've currently in my life, I'm making more money than I've ever made before. So shout out to that. And so with that being said, still, obviously, I'm not the type of person who's out here making six figures, regular degular when it comes to my income. However, it's really important for me to kind of stay on that because even with that being said, I'm not the type of person who anymore chases after money. I don't chase after the dollar. I let the dollar chase me. And so I'm always looking for opportunities to residual income is the word that I really like that sticks out for me because I do own this house and I'm a landlord. I have tenants, 2 sets of tenants, and I'm looking to increase that. So currently right now, my relationship with money is, I would say, really healthy. I save when I can. Shout out to Digit. Shout out to my savings account, high interest. And I'm trying to save up even more money so that I can invest into more rental properties, or at least into properties that I can flip down in Atlanta and even here in Jersey, so that I can eventually start my business. So that is where I'm at with money. It seems to be going really well for me, and I'm really excited for what my future brings. So yeah.
And the community should be excited too, because I mean, you keep it community centered. So I know that, when your blessings come, the community's blessings come, and that's the other thing about money, right? Like us understanding that when we're building individually, we're also building our community up, right? So that is like such a beautiful thing. You just running through the alumni list because we had Kenneth on the show like our first season. So that's probably like episode 4. Y'all check that out on season 1. And that was amazing, just breakdown of like LGBTQ money management and some of the disparities that are there, right, in our community from the lack of knowledge, but also, like you said, some of that, what I like to say, lack mindset that we have, you know what I mean? Just sometimes from experience, but also just because of the way the world places us, right? Like it's a very interesting thing.
And it's funny that you say that because of where I'm at with my money, I'm able to do like I've always been able. When I started Black Boy Complex, that was from the ground up. I didn't have any funding. Still is not an LLC. It's not a nonprofit. Everything that I was doing, all the events that I was throwing, every collaboration that I did, every space that I rented, everything that I did was out of my own pockets. And I was able to do that because of my money management. And I was able to serve my community, I think, in a really big way. And even now, even though I don't do many face-to-face events anymore, obviously, because of where we're at right now, worldwide, but also before Corona hit, I was kind of dialing back a bit, trying to figure out purpose and passion, but I was still donating to GoFundMe's, donating to Cash Apps, like helping my community in those ways, rides, Lyft, you know what I'm saying? So many things that I can do as a leader in my community, as someone who's really focused and oriented in making sure that everyone has what they need when they need it. So I really feel proud that my money management has allowed me to serve others in that way.
That's brilliant. I love that you're giving. I always say you should have, on your budget, a gratitude line. You know what I mean? Even if it's just $10. Like a lot of people be like, I don't have a lot of money. I'm like, skip the In-N-Out burger and just donate to your homie's task, or, your homie trying to like lift up their next project, just donate because it always comes back to you. So Black Boy
You ain't even got to do it.
I know. I
mean, you could do something like, me, like cook Thanksgiving dinner. You could do something that it doesn't even have to be that big. Oh yeah.
Oh snap! I'm about to come. let me get to the East Coast real quick then.
Yeah. But that's like, you could do a Friendsgiving. You could, bake a pie. Like there's so many. I think a lot of people think that money equals money, give money, back and forth type of thing, but it doesn't. It's about like reciprocal energy. It's about the giving energy and making sure that you give. And if what you want universally is money, when you give, you get it back. It's just what it is.
Yep, that circulation. I love that you brought that in and brought that around. So I wanted to hear more about Black Boy Complex because I'm always interested in the foundation of stories, right? And also where projects are now, right? Because I know you, I follow you, so I know for a while you were like, yo, I don't really want to do this anymore. I want to do something different, right? And I feel like we all kind of grow and go through things when we're creating projects. So where did the project start and, where is it now?
That's a good question. So the project started. I was living in Boston at the time, and no shade, but I do not like Boston as a place,
Me
and so I
neither.
was like, don't like it, and I was really struggling as somebody who grew up in Atlanta, came of age in Atlanta, moved to Jersey, like really multicultural, like, you know what I'm saying? Like just very black and then also multicultural. When I moved to Boston, it was really a culture shock for me just to not be around people who look like me, not really see people. On top of the fact that it's really like segregated. So the community that I was in wasn't the black community. So I wasn't even really seeing black people all the time. Like it was really a stressful place for me. And that's actually where I met Van. And I'm like, damn, like me and Van would always like, you know, because he was working at Harvard at the time. So we would link up and spend time together, but not know where to go, not know what to do, not know who could we hang out with outside of just ourselves. Like it was really hard struggling trying to find that. And we found ourselves like going into New York a lot and chilling with Brooklyn Boyhood because they was really the only people like us doing things for people like us at the time. Just like back in 2015, at least in New York. No, yeah, 2013, 15. Wait, where is it? Yeah, 2013, 15. Yeah, and I was fucking with Brooklyn Boyhood before I moved to Boston. So like I used to go back to their house parties 2008, 2009 and like I'm sorry, more 2009, 2010. And so I knew what community looked like and I knew what I wanted to see and I just felt like it would probably make more sense to try to do it on my own. And I thought the first place that I could try was the internet. I was already on Twitter heavy, period. I was already on Instagram. And I thought, well, what if I can find a place where all of my internet friends can come together and like at least know where they're at. Like I know that if I go to Black Boy Complex page and I scroll up and down the follow list, I could find people who are like-minded, who look like me, who share same dreams and ambitions or different dreams and ambitions that we can come together and build or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew that if I did that would be community for some people. And so that's why I created it. In regards to where it is right now, honestly, I don't know. I don't know where it is right now. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with not knowing where it is right now. I think so many things have gone, at least on the East Coast, so many things have gone on with like the Black, queer, LGBTQIA plus community in regards to like socially. And there's been like a shift. And it's hard to know with me, like some of my best creative ideas are shared best when I'm with people who are also creative too. Like I think that's where a lot of power and energy and creativity can come from. And since I'm not really around people anymore, like I'm not really flowing with ideas and I'm okay with that. I've been trying to relax, kind of stay out the way and in my own place and trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And although Black Boy Conference is still very active in regards to just like posting and making sure that the community knows what's going on within community, I haven't really gone live or gotten on Instagram in a while. And I think it's just, you know, me trying to preserve what I have and just trying to kind of recenter and refocus. I'm still very much dedicated to Black Boy Complex and more so less like the platform and more so the people. However, I'm also dedicated to myself too, and I want to make sure that I'm not just trying to fill a void and fill space just because. If someone else is inspired by what Black Boy Complex did and wants to do their own thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much room in the world. Like, I don't want to even feel like I'm in competition or social media. Like, let it be what it is. Let it sit there. And when an idea pops in my head, or when people come to me to collaborate with some really good ideas, I'm with it.
Boy Meets Wellness community, do you have a passion for speaking for profit? Have you always wanted to be a motivational speaker, workshop presenter, or thought expert and been trying to figure out how to get paid for it? Well, I think I got something for you. I've been speaking for profit for almost a decade. I spent the majority of it not getting paid or getting underpaid. I have a passion for coaching speakers and taking your business to the next level. I don't work with any speakers. My learners are people who want to use their voice to create change and make money while they do it. Big money, big impact. If you're interested in learning more about my Speaking for Profit program, click the link in the show notes and set up a 15-minute strategy call with me. I look forward to talking to you. Ashe, thank you for taking us through that journey and also
Thank you.
just being so cool with being where you are right now. I think, especially in this really unpredictable time, right? It's so important for us to just be grounded in the now. And I think that sometimes some of that social media, blogging, trying to stay on top of things, it kind of takes you out of the authenticity of your life, right? Like it kind of like moves you to a space where you're not able to be in the present. So I love seeing that within you. And it's one of the things that I really admire in you. So a few
Thank
months
you.
ago, I was watching you online being a leader because I heard that someone in the community, I think the name was Sir, then they was
Mm-hmm.
going by something else at that time,
Yeah.
Brilliance or Royal, I don't know what their
Yeah.
name was.
Well,
And I knew them even before they were Sir and before they were that. Like I knew them back in the day, just
likewise.
online. But you put out a video that I thought was really impactful, really, calling community in and stating, what I mean, yourself in that and being a leader, right? Like, I mean, I think a lot of people stood back at that time, and not because they didn't care or because they, didn't want to push back, but because they were fearful. So I was thinking like, if you could talk a little bit about just that moment and also
Yeah.
like some of the celebrations and challenges of being a leader in the community, right? Because that I feel
Yeah.
like you came. One of my friends always uses like, I'm coming at you from a rough spot, but from a loving spot. And I feel like when I seen that video, that's really where you was coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really hard for me because I don't want to say that me and Sir were best friends, but I will say that Sir was my bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I really wanted Sir to be the best person that they could be. So, and when you're in community in the way that I am, like it's like some Kevin Bacon shit. Like you're connected to so many people in so many different ways. And so when you have those type of connections, when somebody is not kind of like, imagine you are, walk through me with this. Imagine that you are a spider and you build this beautiful intricate web, right? And all of a sudden this fly comes in and just starts disrupting the shit. Like that's how I felt. Like things weren't really like as cohesive in my community as they should be. And not because things always have to be Gucci, but also just very plain and clear, we shouldn't be out here trying to harm each other. And if we are harming each other, it's also quite clear that we should be holding ourselves accountable and doing our best to keep from harming people in the future and acknowledge the harm that we've done. And so when I came to Sir and other people in the community multiple times, Sir isn't the first time that I've been through this, right? But Sir was the closest person to me in this particular situation. And so when I came to Sir months before any of this happened, it was very much like you said, coming to him in a rough place, but in a loving place, trying to have him understand that like, hey, regardless of how you feel about the situation, there are people that you're hurting here. And when it wasn't really well received, when I just he started like an onion, just all of his layers just kind of started to peel back. And I just saw like in the middle, it was just like this, just really rotten. And I kind of separated myself from the situation. But then when the situation arose again and I realized that he was denying the things that he did and he wasn't actually holding himself accountable or anything like that, it was more just like we can't keep having this. We can't keep having people who are in our communities who call themselves leaders but don't do leader shit. It's really fraudulent. It's not helpful. If anything, it pushes us backwards. There's just a lot of in between the misogynoir, in between like the inner transphobia that people have within themselves, in between people's relationships with sexuality and in personalities clashing, and people feeling that just because someone disagrees with them that they hate them. There are just so many different levels to this, and like somebody, and I didn't give a fuck who it was, but at the time it was me, because that's what I was called to do. But somebody had to come in and fix this damn web. If not fix the web, at least recognize, hey, something's in here is really fucked up, and we have to try to do what we have to do. And calling my community to just raise up and rise up and be better community members, be better people. And that's something that I've been really struggling with, which is one of the reasons why I've kind of pulled back from like having events or things like that, because for a while it started to feel like I couldn't really trust anybody. Everyone had secrets. Everyone had a past. Everybody was doing harm low key undercover. And then as someone who I'm very visible, and that's not something that I'm ashamed of or something that I'm trying to hide or hide from. But because I'm a very visible person, people come to you with their concerns or their problems or wanting you to fix things, wanting guidance. And I'm also, quite frankly, and I've said this many times on my platform, not a specialist, not a therapist, and I'm not a healer, but I am a leader, and I know what's right, and I know when something feels wrong. And I think it's all of our jobs to rise to the occasion, especially when protecting other Black people, regardless of masculinity or femininity or how they present or where they are on the spectrum. It is our responsibility as Black people who love other Black people to stand up and rise up and speak out against harm. And that's it.
And you know what? I know you say you're not a healer, but seeing you do that was healing for me because, I was thinking about the history, especially of boys of masculine center folks, how stuff like this happened before when I was younger and no one was there to say anything, right? And I think seeing more people say it makes more people call people in, even if they're not like necessarily calling them out. So even the things that like was appropriate back in the day for me to say around my boys, I would be like, nah, now. And
right.
The pushback isn't even there. And I think it's because of these larger conversations. Usually people are like, oh, my bad. Damn, I didn't even realize I was doing that. Right. Whereas before it would be like, yo, don't be telling me what to do. Right. Like, so the energy behind it, I think, is so much more healing because of the way you're framing it, but also because of the no bullshit side that you have. Like, I am protecting my community at all costs. Like, this is what this is about. So I love that you brought in that like web concept. I'm so into abstract. So,
yeah,
because we are connected, right? Like by something as simple as a web that keeps us connected. And not only keeps us connected in this, we know each other, but it's an energetic field, right? So when that energy is not right, no one can move forward and feel okay. And that's sometimes where the healing starts is the conversation. So fam, thank you. I praise you. I know you said you're not a healer, but it healed me just to see.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I think, sometimes, although, and just quite frankly and transparently, like I say that to protect myself because there's been many times where people don't like the way that I approach things. It's not healing. And so when I say like, although I'm not, when I say I'm not a healer, I don't want people to think that like I don't have like there's no possibility for me to heal people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even just having this conversation right now is a healing one. But I don't want people to get it. I hood nigga politics all day, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very I just shoot straight from the hip, and some people don't particularly like it, but I didn't care then and I don't care now. I think it's just really, what is the message? What is your purpose? And what you going to do about the shit when it hits the fan? You going to clean it up? Or you just going to watch it circulate in the air? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you going to do?
Exactly. And that's what I appreciate and love, man. Like you gotta keep it authentic, and hood politics is something that has kept us all alive, and it's a part of our survival. So it's our foundation, and we can't get away from that. We can't let them colonize our healing.
No, we damn sure can't. Okay.
So let's talk about music. Like you mentioned this, like, ATL, Jersey vibes, East Coast vibes. And I know you be making mixes, you know what I'm saying? I know you DJ here and there. So where are you with that right now? Like what you listening to? What's your favorite thing? Are there any mixes that, our community should check out? 'Cause I just love hearing about that.
Well, thank you for kind of pulling me back into having a conversation about music, because I feel like it's been so long since I've done that outside of just like what I do every day. As far as like mixes, that I know Tomboy just released one in collaboration with Tenor Boys Club. So Style is Freedom, shout out to Tony, and Tenor Boys Club collaborated, and they have like a really good mix, and I really enjoyed that one. And So you should check it out. Go to their page, see what that's popping like. It's got like, it's not like deep cuts, but it's got all the little like queer jams that you've grown to love within the last, I don't know, couple of years. For me, I'm an old school head. Like I growing up in Atlanta, like I'm big fan of snap music, period, and big fan of like trap music, and also a big fan of like Jersey club, big fan of house music. So I like, it's so crazy because like when I go around Atlanta, I go to like, you know what I'm saying, all the little parties in the park and stuff like that. And Atlanta's really big about like holding its own down and like being really big about uplifting its own musical community, which is why our music is so unique, which is why the music is so popping, and which is why it's people really want to be a part of it when it comes to recreating the sound, and which is one of the reasons why it spread so far and so wide and kind of like hit it in the way that it did. And I really appreciate that because that's kind of where it is with Jersey too. Like Jersey was really like still like big in the house music scene, really big with Jersey Club, and they support their own every summer. Pre-COVID, you could find literally they had a list every summer, every weekend in any park. You would find like a house music party, and I love going to like house music festivals and stuff like that. So that kind of comprises what like my sound is in general and like what I look for. House music is a little bit of like 70s disco with like a new beat to it, like which I really appreciate. It's a mix of gospel and a mix of just feeling happy, feeling free. So that is, I mean, I'm trying to think of like a specific artist that I listen to right now, but honestly, right now I'm in a mini Ripperton phase. I'm gonna keep it real funky. Right now, I've been listening to Minnie Riperton, and I've been in love with. Like sometimes I just click a Minnie Riperton song and I just let it fucking. I'll just click the station. I'll just listen to that on Tidal, and I'll just listen to the whole thing. And I love every single song that it plays. So I'm really all over the place with music right now. I could be anywhere, but I'm not listening to none of these new niggas. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know who's playing on the radio. I don't even listen to the radio. Couldn't tell you. Outside of Megan Thee Stallion, couldn't tell you.
Man, bro, I gave up when I figured out that they had an artist. What is his name? Young Boy Never Gonna Be Broke Again. I said, why is this man's name a whole phrase? Now, this is too much for me. I thought it was a group. I thought it was an album. Then I realized it was one person.
Man, look. And the thing is, like, also, how you know that? I feel like the way, like when you, and I think I know exactly who you're talking about. And with the music that he makes, yes, you will. It's not timeless. I like timeless music. You got to make timeless music that people can rock to, period, throughout, will never stop. And I think that's worth noting. So, I mean, do you listen to that guy?
I listened to one song because I was like, who is this? You know, when you listen to something, but I always find I have to go back and listen to instrumentals. And if I like the instrumental more than I like the words, then I know that it was really the producer I was into and not the artist.
There you go. I do the same thing too.
The beat catches you, right? It's the beat. It's not what the person's saying.
Jetson Made is somebody. Now, when it comes to production, I'm really into production. Jetson Made is really giving us I love that. You know who actually I just got into? What's his name? His name is... Oh man, he's a black guy. He's got his wife with him, and his producer is also a woman as well, black woman as well. I was just looking at him. I'll get you the name, but I actually think I really enjoy his music, and he's probably the newest artist that I've heard that I actually enjoyed. So when I get that information to you, I'm gonna let you know before the end of the joint. I got you.
Dope. Thank you for that. So let's just step into our manifestation world while you're looking that up, right? I'm big on us calling in what we want and what we need. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like if we're on the good side of things, what are we calling in for? You say you're 30, so for 35, what are we calling in?
I want to open up my museum. That's the business that I'm trying to open. Quite frankly, I'm trying to open up my museum. My great grandfather, the man who pretty much changed my life from the beginning to the end, from his like my whole entire life in it, he completely changed it. and is still changing it now. He was an African art collector. So there's none in my living room, but and I'm saying that because I have my video on because I don't listen to instructions. But there, throughout my whole entire home is nothing but African art, real ritualistic African art, mask, like the whole thing, different kinds of what's the word I'm looking for? Artillery, swords, guns, like real African art from different countries and tribes within Africa. And I feel like the people need to see it. I'm looking at it every day and I love it. Honored. However, I feel like it would be much more beneficial if the people could see it and see what our ancestors made, or and this is more than just like on a Black American scope. Like even there's a lot of African Americans who are from the continent who have never seen anything like this, and I feel like they deserve as well. Like we all deserve to bask in the greatness of our people. Period. And so that's what I want to do.
Brilliant. Oh, I just got excited. I'm like, I want to go. I want to see.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I'm saving up. This is what, speaking of money, that's what it's all about. I'm saving up, trying to flip a couple houses so I could get some capital and do it. So if anyone out there is listening, got some capital, going to help me out, then shit, holla at me, because I'm trying to go ahead and get this open. And I know that once I do open it, it's going to be like nothing like you've ever seen. You've never seen nothing like this. So I'm excited.
Nice. So that's a good segue. Like, how can folks like follow you, get to know you? And is there any like projects you're working on now that people should be supporting?
Oh man, my lifelong project is loving on Black femmes. So you can always support that and give a Black femme some money today, and also supporting black masculine people as well. That's a lifelong project. Be a good friend. Be a good bro. Be somebody with intention and dignity and integrity. Be someone who is willing to change for the better. That's my life project. And you can find me on Complex Black Boy, boy with an I. So COMPLEX BLACK BOI on all platforms. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But Twitter is where I'm most active. Same with Instagram and Black Boy Complex. I don't know if y'all see what I did there, but I did that. And Black Boy Complex on Instagram, on Twitter, and also on Facebook. And so, yeah, you can reach out to me there. I'm here to be just a good bro to my bros. Like that's it. And a good person to Black people. Not only, but specifically.
I say to that. So let's head into our fun segment, which is Boy Talking Hop. I'm gonna give you a little fill in the blank, and you're gonna give me some answers, whatever's on the other side of that brain.
All right, word.
So the first one is wellness is.
So I just give you a name.
Yep.
Plants.
Whatever word. Oh, plants. Okay, cool. Like your Virgo energy. I like that already. Ownership is
heart.
If you could speak to anyone dead or alive, who would it be and what would you do?
Dead or alive? I would speak to my great grandfather again. I feel like I need to tap into that. I'll speak to my grandfather again. And you said, what would I do?
Yeah, what would y'all do? Would y'all hang out? Would y'all eat?
I think we'd have a conversation. We'd have a conversation over dinner. And
you doing the cooking, right?
Nah, we actually like go. I mean, he's actually the cook. To be honest with you, I'm gonna have him. As crazy as it sounds, I'm gonna have him make me some chicken potatoes and sauerkraut because that was something he would make for me all the time.
Scrumptious. My favorite book is.
Damn, what is my favorite book? I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it G. I like children's books. My favorite book right now is One Hot Summer Day because that's my book and I'm in it as a child.
Brilliant. Sex is
complicated.
My favorite food is
chicken. What the hell? That shouldn't even easy chicken.
So the chicken, any piece, or you like particular part of the chicken?
I'm a wings person, but I'll also eat some breast. I don't really eat dark meat like that, but also if it's on the table, it's getting eaten. Like
love is
beautiful.
And last but never least, Joe is
that nigga boy. Like, come on now. That nigga, period.
I love it, fam. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Did you ever
Of
find
course.
that artist for us?
Oh, yeah, I did. His name is Toby. I can't pronounce his last name. Toby, and then I'm gonna spell it. N as in Nancy, Wigwe. So definitely go follow him, check him out. I think he's just a really great creative in general. I like his visuals, and his music is pretty good. His producer is lit. So check him out.
I'm going to check it out and leave that in the show notes for folks so we can make sure that we get Toby some listens, because we all about supporting our Black folks who are making us feel good. And for me, music makes me feel hella good.
Shout out to Nappy Nina.
Yes, Ashe.
My name is Joe, also known as Complex Black Boy, and I was born, obviously, incredible.
Thanks for listening to Boy Meets Wellness. Stay connected on and off the show by following us online at Boy Meets Wellness. That's boy with an I. Until next time, go